Hello. Hi, everyone, and happy almost Halloween. I am so excited to be with you today for some school age fun. So, on our last program for school age fun, I gave you some spooky read recommendations. So, hopefully, you've been reading not just the ones that I recommended, but anything kind of spooky because it's the perfect season for that. And so, as our program before Halloween, which is this coming Saturday, I thought I would give you a quick tutorial on how to use makeup to become a vampire. And so I'm just using items that you might have at home. Your grown up might have them, or your big sibling might have them. Ask permission first. But if not, a lot of these things you could just pick up at the dollar store too. Okay, so first, what I'm going to do is vampires are traditionally very pale. And now my skin is a light skin anyway, but so I'm going to go make it even paler. But if you have a deeper skin tone, you might want to go a little more gray than just putting white on. So I can link to some really great tutorials that I found online later in the comments to some for deeper tones that might be really good to use. But as I'm already pretty fair, I'm not going to go that much lighter. But what I'm going to use is concealer. So your mom or your grown up might use these for under your eyes. And mine just so happens to be pretty light. So I'm going to use some of that. And I'm just going to apply it kind of all over. And I've already applied some today, but you can use this. I'm not using that much. And instead of a brush, here it is, I'm going to use the brush that nature gave me, which is my fingers. So I'm just going to kind of rub it in. You could also use white face paint or a lighter toned face paint or even gray face paint if you kind of want to be a like zombie vampire. And then I'm just going to have this kind of white pale cast. And I have a window right in front of me, so I'm already kind of washed out anyway. But that'll add to it. And then if you want to go even paler and kind of add to that like pale, like dry skin, like maybe I've been sitting in a coffin for a couple of centuries, then you can just use some white powder. Oh my gosh, on camera it totally looks not white, but it is very white, and just kind of go all over. Whew, watch that you don't sneeze. Whew. Okay, so that just kind of adds this like kind of like dry, you know, set to it. Okay, so our face is done. Now, this is, I think, the most fun part, one of the most fun parts. One of the reasons why I wanted to do it is a lot of vampires you'll see, especially old style vampires like Dracula, have kind of a V shape right here. And it's referred to as a widow's peak. I'm not quite sure why, because widow is a word that means a woman whose husband has passed away. So I'm not sure where this comes from. Maybe they made this face because they're so sad. I don't know. So what I'm going to use is some liquid eyeliner. You could also use a regular crayon eyeliner. Actually, you know what? Let's use that. I'm going to use that to make the V. And I'm going to try to do it in the camera, but I also have my adorable handheld mirror here who already has some makeup on him, I'm just noticing. So this kind of like, oh my gosh, I could never be on YouTube. This crayon here, I'm going to use it to draw a V. Ooh, not the best. Maybe a little uneven, but that's okay. And then we're going to fill it in. Okay, are you ready? Now I'm going to fill it in with this kind of liquid liner here. I'm just going to paint it, and I'm going to hope that it will wash off in the shower later tonight. And maybe I'll go and run some errands like this. And people will be like, you know, you have a big old V on your head. And I'll say, it's a widow's peak. I'm a vampire. Run. Okay, so I'm going to go up into the hairline there because there we go. Oh my gosh. It's kind of a deep widow's peak. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger. Wow. Maybe I should have marked it out before. Okay, here we go. This is the first step to being a vampire. Oh, oh, oh. And you can choose what kind of vampire you want to be. If you want to be a scary vampire or if you want to be a silly vampire. So our next step is going to be our eyebrows. So I already kind of made my eyebrows a little dark, but I'm going to make them even darker. And I'm going to add a kind of sharp triangle to them. So that I am going to do with our eyeliner crayon that we have. What I'm going to do first is go over my eyebrow already. So see, it's much darker than the other one. And then I'm going to kind of make a triangle as to where the point of my eyebrow kind of already is, and then just fill it in. Oh, 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 there's some evil eyebrows. And now I'm going to try the other side. Okay, so remember, first I went over the eyebrow and just kind of went over my natural one in black. Oh, oh, oh. And then I'm going to twist my crayon. I'm losing it. Now I'm going to make that triangle shape. And the tip of the triangle is just kind of going to go where above the arch of my eyebrow. Oh my gosh. Now they're very expressive. Now I'm going to be angry forever. Ha 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 ha. Okay. What do you think? Oh my gosh. I love it. I'm excited. Okay, so we've got our widow's peak, we've got our eyebrows. Now what is next is we're going to kind of darken our eyes. Because remember, we're vampires. So we've kind of been like the undead for quite some time. So I have some black eyeshadow that I am going to put on a brush. You could also use your fingers for this if you'd like, but I just have a brush. And I'm gonna go right in the middle here. All right, I think I need my mirror again. So you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna go in from the inner corner into my eye and kind of go under too. All right, now I'm gonna take my finger and kind of blend it. I'm also maybe gonna go down the nose a little bit. This kind of contours it. It'll make my nose look kind of sharp and pointy. Okay. And so don't worry about it not being blended super well because we're gonna add a little bit of red too and make our eyes really kind of look like they came from another world, from the beyond. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in the inner corner of my other eye. Here we go. And go in. And then once I've laid it down a little bit, all right. And this isn't a fine science here, as you can see. This is all experimenting. So your mileage may vary depending on the tools that you have and the products that you're using. But the good news is you can kind of use it with whatever you've got. So this is just a general template. Okay, and I went under the eye there. Let me go a little under the eye here. Excellent. Ooh, I'm getting a little spooky. Kind of look like I got punched in the eye here, but that's okay. Maybe someone didn't want me to drink their blood, which I don't blame them. Okay, so next, what we're gonna do is take a little red, and I actually don't have a red eyeshadow, so I'm going to use a little bit of red lipstick. Now you wanna check maybe with your grown up and make sure that it's safe for you to use. Like if you're using a product on your face that's maybe supposed to be for another part of your face, you might want to just double check. Most of these are fine. Like if this one's supposed to go on my lips, the fact that I'm putting it on the outside of my eye is probably okay. Okay, and now again, I'm not using a brush for this one because I'm just using a liquid lipstick. Go under there. Don't go too close to the eye though with any of these because you don't want to get stuff in your eye and then be, you know, a really sad vampire. Ooh, okay, so that's looking great. All right, so now I want to go on the outside of this eye. And you see, I didn't really put that much on. I'm not really going all the way in. Mostly what I'm doing is laying down color, and then I'm just going to blend it out. Oh, and maybe this looks like I got a little bit of blood in me, or maybe I need some more. And then I'm going to go under a little bit, just a little bit, but not too close to the eye, remember. Okay, and there we go. All right. What are you thinking? Gosh, I think it looks great. Okay, so now I think we're almost done, except for, my teeth. They are pointy. There's some that are pointy, but they're not as pointy as a vampire's. So what we're going to do is we are going to draw them on. So first, I'm going to put on some lipstick. And you could use red lipstick or whatever you want, but I'm going to use black lipstick just because I think it's super fun. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm only going to put a little bit on the bottom here. See? And I know black lipstick you could definitely get at the Halloween store or maybe even the dollar store. And I'm not going to go all the way here because I'm actually going to draw some teeth. All right, so now I'm going to go to top. I'll do the whole top lip. You know what? It is hard to talk while you put on lipstick. Okay, so here's the top lip. But these kind of corners here on the bottom, I'm going to leave a little blank because what we're going to do is instead of putting fake teeth on, which you could do, and you could totally get that, anywhere. But sometimes I find those uncomfortable to wear. So we're going to paint them on. So what I'll do is I have some white eyeshadow. You could also use white eyeliner, or you could use white face paint for this and just put it on a brush. But I have this white liquid eyeshadow, and I'm going to see if I can kind of create a tooth shape. All right, ready? I'm going to kind of go in here like this. It's kind of a cartoony tooth. I don't know if you can see it that well. There you go. And I'm going to go from the other side. And then you might not be able to see it that well, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline it on this side and come in. I didn't think about the fact that it's hard to talk when you're putting makeup on around your mouth. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit extra off there. So you can kind of see they curve in, but in order to make them pop, put my thing back in here, I'm going to take that eyeliner, and again, you could use the liquid eyeliner or you could use the crayon. I'm going to use the liquid actually. And I'm going to draw a line outside of it. So you can really see that it is a tooth. Oh, it looks so good. Okay, let's try the other side. Shake it up a little bit. Okay. So you see how you can see that one's so much better than this one? All right, now we're going to outline this other one here. And I'm doing this super fast, just so we're not sitting in front of the computer all day. But you can take your time with it. I love it. All right, I'm going to add a little more black lipstick because I think it's kind of fading. And then I think we'll be done with our look. Okay, last little swab of lipstick. Now, I don't want my vampire to be super scary, so I'm not going to put any blood drops on right now anyway. But you could definitely do that. If you just take some blood, put it right here in the corner, go down. Great. And now we have our vampire. Oh. Let me see. I've got my little cape here. Let me see if I can put it on. Da, 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 da. Happy Halloween. Oh, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I will put some tutorials in the comments section when this goes out, so you can see kind of where I got the idea from, and then some for other types of skin tones too. Thank you very much, and have a happy Halloween. Bye.